Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mr. Beefy Presents Some Crypto. Your favorite bourbon drinking DGen. So, today, Bitcoin's future. What is it? Short term painful, long term bullish. I think any way Bitcoin goes, it's if it let's just say institutions abandon it, I think it goes back to its original intent. I think we all use it as peer-to-peer transactions, but nonetheless, let's kind of jump into it, right? So we're kind of like at a little bit of a inflection point here on the charts. So we're either going to kind of repeat what we did in 2018. I still think we're here, but right. So we could form two different patterns here, and this is kind of what I'm looking for. So if we come down here and drop down and test this 14,150 mark, I think we're going to get a bounce. It should flatten out a little bit and then bounce. Probably get a bounce up to about 17.2. And then get rejection here off of prior support. We'll work our way back down. Kind of hang out here in this range of 14.5 area. If we do that, I think the bottom is around 90, was that 9,600? Yeah, 9,650 or something like that. And of course, if we stick within this descending wedge, we could break loose. So it's hard to tell. The macro is whacked right now. The VIX, it started to break loose. So, I mean, it broke that channel, and she's got a lot of room to run. So, could be bad news. The DXY, well, they're going to do two things here, right? One, we're going to go up here. I think we're either double top it or this is one gigantic bull flag and we are up the creek because it's just perfect setup. S&P, try to go up there and test it today. The wedge there, not looking good, man. Not looking good. But let's get back to Bitcoin. So I think once we kind of figure out where this is at, I think it puts us in a better position of where I think it's going long term. You gotta, when you zoom out and stuff like that, in charts, and I'm not an expert, but people are emotional and they make emotional and rational decisions, right? And this is kind of what the charts are. So it kind of puts you in a position to kind of maybe see where things may go, right? So I think bottom for Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, is around 7,500 to 9,500 bucks. I don't. If the macro gets nasty enough, we may go down here $4,000. But I mean, if we get below that stuff and stocks are, then it's not going to matter anyway. Everything will probably go to zero, and we'll be bartering with goats and bourbon and cigarettes. But so this is kind of what I see going on, right? I've got here around 9,500, 9,600 bucks. Kind of trade sideways. And here's the bummer part for the people that's just kind of getting into it. I think this was kind of designed. This was designed for a reason, and the market maker, the composite man, right? He is like Bob Ross, painting the picture, right, of where he wants to go long term. And sometimes you kind of got to zoom out and say, wait a minute, is that a forest? Is that a building? Or, is this what he's painting? So if you really go out and look a little bit, right? So he's printed some pretty big resistance here for future bull run. So this is where I think the top is for next bull run. Heartbreaking, right? That's a 300. If you buy here, 300% move, just like right here, right? Yeah, let me make sure, because that's what the other one was. Yeah. What? Yeah. So, bright spot, in my humble opinion, not financial advice, do your own research and all this stuff, right? That we're just sharing thoughts and details and opinions. This is your support. What's going on here will be your new support. That all-time high, some of this movement right here is done for a reason. Support in the future. So when you zoom out and you go to that 1 week, right? Look at that. You see how this all went together, right? Right. This is what I think will happen. And I think some people need to be shaken out before this happens. There's some bad actors that are still in the space. I think there's a certain stable coin. It may be too big, or they may actually be relevant now, but either way, I think the U.S. government will ban them in this country. So it won't matter. It may affect the overall total space, but it'll be gone out of the U.S. Then there's a couple bad actors that need to go away, right? I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but you see them on YouTube and stuff like that, telling people to, do irresponsible things to acquire more Bitcoin. And that's a shame. It really is, because that's kind of not Bitcoin's the opposite of that stuff, right? Financial freedom, independence overall. But this is where I see it going, right? And this could be, my bet is, not next cycle, between this cycle and the next bear market, a lot of these bad players will get shaken out, and a spot ETF will develop here in the country, here in the United States. And then I think some of the retirement funds will get in, and maybe a central bank or two or something like that has added as some of its reserves. But that's kind of where I see it going. If you look at ETH's kind of got the same pattern, but I just don't know. There's a few layer ones that I kind of have my eye on, but at the end of the day, for those to become mainstream and actually used, the public won't have any access to them, right? If I owned a company, why in the world would I let some degenerate nerd gamblers mess up my infrastructure of me doing day-to-day business, right? Won't happen. The beautiful thing with Bitcoin is a country can buy 1,000 Bitcoin or 2,000 Bitcoin and break it down and back their currency by it. That's, do a partial back between Hint and Gold. That's the beautiful part about it. If things get too bad and this is where I separate from the diehard maxis. If things get so bad, like Great Depression bad, I think Bitcoin and gold's useless at that point, and I think bartering. I'm talking bourbon, goats, cows, cigarettes, food, stuff like that. That's your currency. The rest of it won't even matter. At that point, it's just survival. But long term, I think Bitcoin is going to nail it, and you will hear in 2024, 2025 that 2021 was your forever top. Bitcoin's done. You better jump into some altcoins and stuff like that. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, in my humble opinion. I think the opposite will happen after the next bull run. Layer ones are going to get crushed. I actually think there'll probably only be about 3 that survive, maybe 4. And then it'll be a Bitcoin powertrain. But I guess I'll jump off here. There is literally no one on here. All right, guys. Well, stay positive. We're almost through it. Squash out all the noise. Don't get complacent. Have your buy orders set. And get ready, man. It's prime time. This is what we've signed up for, right? So just don't get complacent. Be strategic with your orders. Maximize the money that you have in the market. If you want, buy down here, wait, unload up here, add to your stack, right? Trade a little bit. If you want to hodl, get it, send it to your ledger, be done with it. But, all right, gang, stay safe. Mr. Beefy out.